let's continue with the first lesson. And so here we're going to be talking about computers, and we're going to understand computers a bit more so that we can use that to build other concepts of programming on top of it and do better at them. So the first question we have to answer is, what is a computer? And if you look around, like a lot of when we talk about computers, we always think about like PCs or like laptops and stuff. But the definition of computer is covers way more than just PCs and computers. And if you look around you, everything, almost every electronic device you have has some sort of computer inside of it. For example, if I have a calculator here, the calculator has a computer inside of it that does computations for me. Or if I have a phone, or if I have this walkie-talkie here, this walkie-talkie has a computer inside of it that does some processes, right? Even if it's simple stuff, it still has a processor inside of it that computes something, and so it's a computer. Or like even if I have a camera that like shots videos or whatever, it has a computer inside of it that's really small, really simple, but this computer takes basic instructions and does some basic operations that help you so that you are able to take pictures and use the camera, right? And so computers are basically everywhere, and everywhere you see them. And so here the idea is that I'm going to be looking at the components, and we're going to learn what the components are. So I'm going to go and search computer components, and it's going to bring me, remember my decision, it's going to bring me some elements here. I'm not going to go through all of them because knowing all of them is unnecessary, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the main three that we will need in our course. So the first one is a CPU. That's the most important part of a computer. CPU stands for Central Processing Unit, or in other words, it's basically the brain of your computer. And what it does is, it does operations, right? You give it like stuff and it computes these stuff. And that's basically what a CPU is. And the next thing that you need to know, the next component is going to be a memory. Memory, or RAM, which RAM stands for Random Access Memory, is something like a note. It's like a piece of paper here that the computer uses to write stuff on, right? Like if I want to like compare humans to computers, I would say you're like let's say in a situation where so you're doing a math problem, right? You're not going to do everything in your brain. If it's a big problem, you have to write down everything one by one, write the steps, do this computations of the steps one by one, and then get to the answer. And memory is similar to that, right? When the CPU is doing a big computation, what it's going to do is every step that it does a computation of, it's going to check it with the memory, write it on the memory, and then it's going to read the other information from there, that do another computation, write it back, and then keep doing this. And the memory is short term, basically. And the idea of short term is that when you turn off the computer, the memory, whatever is on the memory, is wiped out, right? And if you don't want it to get wiped out, you can write it on the hard drive, which is another component of a computer, right? The hard drive is your long-term memory, and your RAM is your short-term memory, if that makes sense. And a good example that can show these differences is when you were using a Word document, let's say, and you were typing something. All you were typing there was going into the memory of the computer. But when you would save it and press save in the Word document, what would happen is everything that was in the memory is going to go and be written in the hard drive. And that's why it's not going to go away, right? If you didn't save a file and you turned off your computer, when you came back, whatever was in the file was gone if you didn't save the file, right? If you didn't write it to the hard drive, it would have been gone. And that's basically the idea. And these are the main components of computers. We're going to use these to do some cool stuff next time. So we're going to do some computations and look at the basics of Python next time. And yeah, that is all. See you in the next video.